Let's get right into it. Number 6. The passion paradox. You are currently paralyzed by a romanticized lie that suggests your one true calling is sitting out there in the universe, fully formed, waiting for you to stumble upon it like a buried treasure chest or a winning lottery ticket. You believe that if you just think hard enough or scroll through enough inspirational quotes on Instagram, the heavens will part and your specific purpose will be revealed. This is why you spend your Friday nights staring at your ceiling fan, feeling a creeping sense of inadequacy because you haven't found it yet. You look at your friends who seem to have it all figured out, the ones posting about their startups or their art galleries, and you feel like a biological error. But here is the breakdown of that glitch in your thinking. Your brain is not designed to discover passion. Your brain is designed to cultivate interest through feedback loops. By waiting for a lightning strike of inspiration, you are actually engaging in a sophisticated form of procrastination. You were told passion leads to action. What they didn't mention is that action is actually what generates passion. The lie is that you need to know the destination before you start the car. This keeps you stationary, terrified of making the wrong choice, so you make no choice at all. You are standing in the cereal aisle of life, overwhelmed by options, starving to death because you're afraid to pick the wrong flavor of flakes. Psychologically, this is analysis paralysis, masquerading as high standards. You think you are being careful with your future, but really, you are just protecting your ego from the potential shame of trying something and not being immediately brilliant at it. You want the identity of passionate creator without the humiliating early stages of being a confused amateur. So you wait. And while you wait for that magical feeling to hit you, your 20s dissolve into a gray fog of hesitation. You treat your life like a dress rehearsal, convinced the real show starts once the passion arrives. It won't. Your brain isn't trying to make you happy. It's trying to keep chaos familiar. Number 5. The cult of optimization. There is a specific type of sickness that infects the modern 20-something, and it usually starts with a pristine, color-coded Google Calendar and ends with a mental breakdown at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. You have been sold the idea that every single second of your existence must be optimized for maximum output. You treat your biological rhythms like a software bug that needs to be patched. You listen to podcasts at 2x speed not because you absorb the information faster, but because you are terrified of silence. You have turned your morning routine into a military operation. Cold plunges, gratitude journaling, sunlight exposure, and protein synthesis, all before you've actually done a single tangible thing for the world. This is the productivity porn trap. It feels good to plan the work because your brain releases dopamine during the planning phase. It tricks you into feeling accomplished when all you've actually done is color code your anxiety. You sit at a desk buried under sticky notes and highlighters, convincing yourself that this aesthetic organization is the same thing as progress. It isn't. It is a defense mechanism. By obsessing over the method of work, you avoid the actual difficulty of the work itself. You are building a complex scaffolding for a building you are too scared to construct. This was never really about you, it was about control. In a world that feels increasingly chaotic and economically unstable, micromanaging your day down to the minute gives you a false sense of security. You think if you just find the right app, the right workflow, or the right supplement, you will finally feel enough. But the brain's reward system is a moving target. The moment you optimize one area of your life, the goalpost shifts. You become a robot that is constantly undergoing maintenance, but never actually performs its function. You optimize your sleep to work better, you work harder to afford better sleep, and the cycle eats your youth alive. You thought this made you unique? It didn't. It made you predictable. Basically, your nervous system throws tantrums while pretending it runs the show. Number 4. The monetization of joy. Somewhere along the line, you internalized a capitalist parasite that whispered a terrible lie into your ear. If you are good at it, you should charge for it. You cannot just bake bread anymore. You have to start a sourdough micro-bakery. You cannot just enjoy video games. You have to stream on Twitch. You cannot just write bad poetry in a notebook. You have to build a Substack and grow an audience. You have successfully murdered the concept of a hobby and replaced it with the side hustle. This sounds like ambition, but physiologically, it is a recipe for deep, pervasive burnout. When you monetize your leisure time, you remove the only safe haven your brain has to recover from stress. The psychology here is simple but devastating. Once a reward becomes extrinsic, meaning you do it for money or validation, the intrinsic motivation evaporates. You stop painting because it feels good to paint. You start painting because the algorithm rewards a specific style. You begin to view every hour of rest as lost revenue. You sit on your couch watching a movie, but in the back of your mind, a little voice is screaming that you could be editing content or answering emails. You are never truly off the clock because you have turned your entire personality into a business model. This keeps you behaviorally stuck because it denies you the ability to be mediocre. You are terrified of being bad at something, so you never play. You only perform. You are constantly auditing your own life for content value. Can I post this? Is this brand safe? Does this fit my niche? You have become your own tyrannical boss, micromanaging your downtime until it feels just like labor. The tragedy is that you think this is grinding for your future freedom, but you are actually building a prison where the warden is your own inability to just sit still and exist without producing value. Your brain wants comfort, not truth. So it tells you that rest is for the weak, when in reality, rest is the only thing keeping your prefrontal cortex from snapping like a dry twig. Number 3. The networking delusion. You are currently wasting an exorbitant amount of energy trying to impress people who do not care about you, in rooms you do not want to be in, drinking lukewarm coffee that tastes like despair. You have been told that your network is your net worth, a phrase designed to make you feel insecure about your lack of connections. So, you spend your 20s networking. You send cold DMs on LinkedIn that sound like they were written by a desperate AI. You go to mixers where everyone is scanning the room over each other's shoulders, looking for someone more important to talk to. You collect business cards and digital connections like they are protective talismans against failure. Here is the uncomfortable truth. You are trying to build the roof of the house before you have poured the foundation. Networking without a core competency is just begging. The psychology of this behavior is rooted in tribal validation. We want to be accepted by the leaders of the tribe to ensure our survival. But in the modern context, this manifests as empty transactional relationships. You are faking intimacy to get ahead. You nod along to conversations you find boring, you laugh at jokes that aren't funny, and you dilute your own personality to be palpable to everyone. This behavior keeps you stuck because it is performative. You spend hours connecting, but 0 hours becoming the type of person worth connecting with. Real networks are built on shared struggle and mutual respect, not 15-minute Zoom calls where you pick someone's brain. You are trading your dignity for a theoretical open door. The irony is that the most magnetic people are the ones who aren't chasing everyone else. They are the ones focusing on their craft. But you are too busy polishing your personal brand to actually build a person behind the brand. You are a billboard for a store with no inventory. And the wild part? You were told this was normal. Number 2. The timeline trap. Your perception of time is completely warped because you are comparing your behind-the-scenes footage with everyone else's highlight reel. You look at the 30 under 30 lists and feel a physical pang of nausea because you haven't founded a unicorn startup or saved a rainforest yet. You have an arbitrary timeline in your head that says you must be married by 27, a homeowner by 29, and a CEO by 30. When reality fails to meet this hallucination, your brain interprets it as a threat to your social standing. You doom scroll through Instagram at 2 a.m., your face illuminated by the blue light of the screen, looking at a former classmate's engagement photos or promotion announcements, and your amygdala screams that you are being left behind. This is the social comparison theory on steroids. Evolutionarily, it made sense to compare yourself to your neighbor to ensure you weren't the weakest link in the tribe. But your neighbor used to be the guy in the cave next door. Now your neighbor is a global algorithm curated to show you only the top 0.1% of human success. You are comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. This creates a state of chronic, low-grade panic. You rush into relationships that are wrong for you because you don't want to be single. You take jobs you hate because they offer a senior title. You make life-altering decisions based on how they will look to an audience of people you haven't spoken to since high school. This rush to check boxes makes you sloppy. It blinds you to the fact that your 20s are for experimentation, not finalization. You treat your life like a race, but you forgot to ask where the finish line is or why you are running toward it. You are so obsessed with making it that you never stop to ask if you even like the destination. You are climbing a ladder that is leaning against the wrong wall, just because everyone else is climbing it too. Your brain runs like a lazy GPS that keeps recalculating but never changing the route, terrified that if you slow down, you will disappear. Number 1. The Arrival Fallacy. This is the biggest lie of them all, the apex predator of your mental health. It is the belief that, once I achieve X, then I will finally be happy. Once I get the promotion. Once I hit 100K subscribers. Once I lose 10 pounds. Once I move to New York. You view your current existence as a waiting room for your real life to begin. You are willing to suffer, grind, and be miserable today because you believe you are purchasing future happiness. You wear your exhaustion like a badge of honor, convinced that your current misery is just the down payment on a blissful future. Psychologically, this is known as the Arrival Fallacy. Your brain is wired to adapt to new circumstances rapidly, a phenomenon called hedonic adaptation. This means that when you finally get that thing you wanted, the dopamine hit wears off in about 2 weeks, and you return to your baseline level of happiness. If your baseline is anxious and miserable, a promotion won't fix it. It will just make you an anxious and miserable person with a better office. By living entirely for the future, you are training your brain to ignore the present. You are literally practicing the art of being unsatisfied. This keeps you stuck in a perpetual state of almost there. You never celebrate a win because you are already looking at the next mountain. You don't know how to exist in the moment because the moment feels insufficient. You postpone joy. You postpone rest. You postpone life. You tell yourself, I'll relax when I'm done, but you are never done. The goalpost is not glued to the ground. It is strapped to your forehead. No matter how fast you run, it moves with you. You are wasting your 20s not by failing, but by succeeding at things that do not actually nourish you, all while waiting for a payoff that is statistically impossible to achieve. You are a donkey chasing a carrot that you are holding yourself. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.